to reclaim, recognize, and revamp ourselves. That is the theme that came across my mind and in my dreams during this last full moon of February. That was the snow moon, also known as the bear moon. And this full moon, February of 2026, came in the sign of Leo, which has encouraged us to have courage and asked us to detach. I am coming to you today from the city of Salt, and this channel to reclaim the feminine, reclaim empowerment, to recognize that as women we have shared stories, and we want to be seen and heard and not wallow, not look for pity, but to simply share our knowledge, our strength, our hope. And that is why I am here to reclaim the story. I am petting my grand puppy right now, and he's not much of a pup. He's a big German Shepherd named Rollo. Trying to get him on camera, but he's a little shy. The story that came to mind is one that happened to me back in the early spring of 1990. And I was on a trip with a new sweetheart. It was the early stages of love, spring. And I went on a trip to California with this man. Handsome devil. And we were at an Anaheim Angels game. First time I had ever been in a professional sized stadium. I grew up in Salt Lake City, and we had a decent sized stadium that is long since gone, though at the time I had never been to a large stadium before. Now at this Anaheim Angels game, it was thrilling, it was exciting, and we had no idea that President Bush, the first President Bush, was going to fly in by helicopter over the stadium, land in the stadium, and then watch part of the game with Gene Autry, who owned the Angels at that time. And I was so exciting. I was in my 20s, and an announcement came on that the president was leaving. And nearly everyone stood up, including me, and ran out because we knew there was going to be the entourage, the Secret Service, and I was caught up in the moment, in the excitement. And remember, I had never been there before. I was with a special someone, though it was the early stages of our relationship. It was long before cell phones. And I said nothing to him. I just ran away and headed with the crowd down through the passages and the the cement pathways winding through, bound and determined to get a glimpse of the president. And this was long before I was incredibly politically active. I had just never seen a president in person before. It was exciting. As I got closer to the area of the overhang on one of the long cement pathways heading down out through the stadium, we pushed towards the edge, and luckily I made my way to the edge of the overhang. Lucky I didn't fall off. And I leaned forward just as the limos and all of the Secret Service were driving around with President Bush. And all of the cameras, the lights, the entourage, the press, paparazzi, all shining a light I screamed as loud as I could, "Mr. President, Utah says hi." And he looked up, looked over, and he said, "Hi, Utah." And everybody around me, including me, screamed. I share this story because I don't remember the story often. It was a long time ago. Though it's a fond memory only because it represented freedom to me. It represented spontaneity. And I was at a very different stage in my life where I had stepped away from a failed marriage. I was a single parent, and I was stepping into the unknown of a new relationship, not knowing where it might head. Those are the stories that women have. And I prefer to reflect on that one and know that at that moment, I felt free. I felt that I was celebrating, even though I was just surrounded by strangers. And I cannot remember to this day how I wound up finding the person that I was with and much about the rest of our trip. That was the highlight. It was so thrilling. And a bit of a, even though I was in my 20s, I'd lived in the same city my entire life and a bit sheltered. And I felt that naive sense of worldliness encountering a president who spoke to me. Those silly moments we have when we're young, whether it's tween, teen, early 20s, that giddiness. And as I share this story with you, I feel that sense of giddiness again. And I'm petting Rollo as he's walking away. Such a good dog. Sharing the oh, there he is. See Rollo? He's a good sized dog. He's a good sized pup. He's a good dog. Wherever you are, share in the comments. Where are you watching this from? Where have you discovered this channel? What brought you here? My name's Tiffany. I am the founder of Anderson Therapeutics, and I started this channel as a way to share and explore and talk about feminine wisdom and laugh, have sorrow if we need to, share success. I'm entering the final stages of my life. And as I enter this, and I say this lovingly, crone stage, I am 60 plus, and I am not afraid and looking forward to what's right around the corner. Thank you for watching. This is my first long video that I've put on this channel, and I look forward to connecting with others, hearing where you're from, celebrating your successes, sharing your stories. Subscribe, give this a like, and come back again. Take care.